Hey guys, David Lewis here with AW Specialty Papers. Today we're going to be talking about decorating plexiglass. So we had the folks over at E&T Plastics make us up some samples to work with. They call it cast acrylic sheet. They say there's two different kinds. There's extruded and cast, and that the cast sheets are better to use for heat press decorating because it holds its shape better. So we're also using the AW Papers Versus Sheen is our media. This is the laser printable sheet. We're printing these on a CMYK, just a regular color laser printer. Okay, so we have our image ready. This is on a transparent background, but since we're printing to a CMYK printer, it really doesn't matter because white and transparent are going to be the same. We select the print option. We're printing to the Oki 610. This is a CMYK printer. You want to select your printer here. And in print settings, very important, two things. One is we want to use the multi-purpose tray or manual feed tray, typically for most of the printers that you'll be working with. And then the second one is to go in and be sure that you select the proper media type. So all these printer drivers will have some type of media type setting, and you want to pick one that falls into these categories, either labels, glossy, or films. So labels, glossy, or films are typically the media type that'll work best for the Versus Sheen media. In this particular case, we're using labels for the Oki printer, and we say OK, and then we hit the print button. This is the Oki 610, which is a CMYK printer. So we open this up, we put the media in, glossy side up, and press the online button. And here is our print. All right, so let's get started with this. So we have our piece of acrylic. The acrylic comes with these masking pieces already applied to it. So we want to peel those off. So these stick on with an adhesive. And so there's always a little bit of that adhesive that might get left on the sheet. So to clean that off, we want to take alcohol and a cotton swab, and we want to just clean off our sheet. And then once we've cleaned that off, take a soft rag, just kind of buff away any residue or pieces that may be left on, so we've got a nice, clear, shiny surface to work with. Okay, so now we've cleaned off our glass, nice and clear. I've got some thermal tape that we're going to use to hold the design in place. I've selected the image off of our sheet that we want to print with. And the beautiful thing about, of course, working with plexiglass is the ability to see exactly where you want things to go. And then I'll just take my thermal tape and stick it in here just to get positioning so it holds the position. We're ready to press this. We have our heat press set to around 310 degrees. The thinner the plexiglass, the lower down that you want to go, also the amount of time that we're pressing. We want to position this in the center of the heat press. We want to cover it with a piece of parchment, and then we want to drape the silicone pressing pad over the top. You can get these at pretty much any home goods store, and about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch is all the thickness that is needed. Now we want to set our pressure so that when we're pressing on this thickness, that it gives us high pressure but not too high. We're pressing for a full 2 minutes, and then we'll release this. It's nice to have the edges off to the side so we can lift it up without running the risk of burning ourselves. We just need it to cool a little bit, so let's bring it over and let it cool. Okay, so we have our piece that's pressed. We can see nice edges around from the pressing, and so now we are ready to remove the tape and to start the peeling process. For the peel, we just want to grab a corner and peel it away just like so. And we get beautiful results. So there's our image. We found that by just applying a painted white background gives us the white that we need to make this, show up under both dark and, and light situations. We tried several different products, and the thing that we found is that when you apply the white paint, whichever brand that it is, in order for the best durability, we need to bake it. This is the one. This is this Champion model here. We found that it yellowed the most. The Ace Premium Gloss White Enamel yellowed somewhat, not as much as the Champion. But we noticed that the acrylic lacquer from Rust-oleum was the one that gave us the brightest, glossiest white that stayed white throughout the entire process. All right, so we're ready. Here's our piece. We always want to keep in mind, which side has the print on it. And it's best to do this like we're in this warehouse area outside. And then a pair of gloves for handling it. And in just a moment, you want to shake up your paint and then just kind of put an even coating. I can go back and forth in a couple of different directions. Last step after we finish with applying the acrylic to the backing is we want to bake it. If you want, you can just put it in your heat press and leave it. Don't close the heat press, of course, but just leave it in the heat press for an hour or a little less than that. And here we can see white is making it show up even on a dark background. So plexiglass with Versa Sheen and white lacquer. So bye, David from AW.